Howdy, kinfolk, and welcome back to our original Old Gods of Appalachia RPG adventure, Blood Moon in Baker's Gap. Thank you all for joining me again tonight for session 3, I believe. So, last week on Blood Moon in Baker's Gap, you guys had just left Marcy Walker's house and ventured to the Clutch, where you met the leader of the squatters' encampment, Bertha Norris. Y'all hung around to help them essentially establish some wooden walls that they were trying to put up. They were in the process of putting up when y'all arrived. You know, citing the recent attacks around the gap as a worry for their safety. Nakamo had a little bit of conversation with Bertha Norris, and before you guys headed on down the road, and found yourselves in a weird place between, with a rather massive, gruesome tree in the middle that the ones who traveled there definitely did not remember being there. Found yourselves fighting off not only these god-awful sized wasps, but each other, as whatever this thing was seemed to cast influence over the darker parts of yourselves. Y'all found out eventually that if you got far enough away, you sort of left this place between, and you guys managed to book it out of that place. Highlight for me was the mental image of Nakamo using one of his Cyphers to make like a spectral stag and literally carry a possessed Eli out of there. It was kind of neat. The other one being Johnny. I love it. The other one being Johnny, all crazy faced, which we made some cool art for. After that, you guys made it. That was probably 2 sessions ago, I guess. After that, you guys made it to Baker's Gap. My brain's working now. Wow, it's been a whole recap on 2 sessions ago. Y'all made it to Baker's Gap. Y'all ended up going straight to the sheriff's office, where Dean has apparently been called to investigate a recent killing of one Tanner Finch. The sheriff didn't seem comfortable talking to you guys in his office and essentially put you off until later. Y'all had to go to Ward Lumber and Hardware to pay entry to the poker club, where you were going to speak with the sheriff, and had an encounter with apparently a mining company representative, Mr. Rails. Y'all intervened on a situation where it seemed like he was trying to bully some information out of Ingrid Witt, the local postmaster. After you paid for your entrance, you guys went over. After y'all paid for your entrance, you also bought supplies. Nakamo bought a pretty solid chunk of supplies to give to the Clutch to aid in their reinforcement efforts. Before you guys, I don't know if you meant for me to hear that, but you're on mute. Before you guys went on down to the poker club, which y'all found out was a speakeasy under the hardware store. And y'all had a conversation with the sheriff, who told y'all few things. I think I know them all, but I'm not sure. I'm just kidding. Oh. Actually, let's do this real quick, because I think it'll be fun. And I'll fill anything I think is important that you missed. But a point of experience for anyone that can recollect to me what the lowdown on what the sheriff told you. It could just be a piece of what the sheriff told you. You don't have to be the whole thing. More experience for y'all.
I've slept since then, unfortunately.
Don't worry, I have the gist. But only the gist.
Was it wolf attacks or whatever beasts they were?
Yeah. So take your experience point. He told you that there had been killings around the gap. Apparently like wolves slaughtering men walking through the gap at night.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
I believe he specifically said that most of the killings seemed to meet a specific MO. It was men who nobody was going to miss too much. But for some reason, Tanner died, and he did not fit that MO. Best he could tell, he was a pretty good guy who didn't wrong anybody or really get into too much trouble. but somehow he wound up dead all the same, and that seemed kind of weird. It kind of broke the MO they had for the killings.
Okay. Take 1 experience. That's technically worth 2 experience points. So take 1 experience point and give 1 to someone else.
Jib, it's your lucky day.
Okay.
Thank you.
There may be one more sort of topic of conversation that y'all and the sheriff discovered, if anyone thinks they remember, to claim that experience point. The last bit was good.
Tanner was the previous rail company employee. I forget what his title is exactly.
He was the previous director, president, head of the office there in Baker's Gap. Take an experience point. Piece that y'all may sort of glossed over was that the TMC guys were buying up a lot of tickets. I think y'all learned that a little bit ago, but the sheriff had kind of mentioned to you guys that they showed up one day instead of Tanner's replacement and started buying a bunch of fucking train tickets. And y'all witnessed them buy a big pallet of lumber from the hardware store. I think maybe the sheriff was one that told you they were buying real estate. Okay, so unless anyone has anything else they'd like to add for some experience, I think we're getting ready to get started.
I'm all good.
Perfect. Well, with that, I am forced to say that viewers' discretion is advised.
Moons before, some of our kinfolk have discovered the little town of Baker's Gap, Tennessee. Our story begins when a woman offers a young girl a knife, old as the dark, and promises her salvation. The girl pulls the knife through the guts of that lake bass, just as she'd been told, and isn't quite old enough to understand the cold chill of bloodlust that rolls over her. The oily corpse of that gutted animal grows eyes all along its body, and blood pools in the water as it comes to a violent, viscera-filled roil. She pulls the bass from the water, and with all her strength she tosses it out into the middle of the lake. The impact of that little creature on the water sounds like a full-grown body dropped from the treetops. The ripples erase the reflection of the stars from the lake, and slowly they're replaced with tiny pinpricks of red light. New and unfamiliar stars from a sky filled with darkness and blood. She tells herself again she's just doing what she's told, doing what needs to be done for the salvation of her little family. And around the Appalachians, our kinfolk begin to dream.
All right, y'all, here we go. Woohoo! So, y'all ended the session after your little late night poker party in which no one played poker, just like us. Y'all went back to Johnny's house to get some good sleep. So, we're actually going to start at Johnny's house. I made a thing for this, but I might have to... Uh-oh, let me check something. Yeah, all right. So, Dean, we're actually going to start with you. You had specifically mentioned sleeping in the rocking chair facing the door. And in the night, you awake in your rocking chair. And you're not sure what woke you up at first until you see a spectral, skeleton-y figure leaned up against the door frame looking at you. He gives you a long, deep nod, and he kind of stands up. And he walks around the chair, and you can't see or feel him, but you somehow know he's leaned his arms down over the chair. I just realized you can't see this image that I'm going to put in chat for you. Here we go. You hear a familiar voice. What are we doing here, Dean? This isn't Stone Egg. These aren't your people.
Pod called us out here to help the people of Baker's Gap. You know that's our job.
Hell, it seems to me like you're trying to run from what happened to them folks in Stonega. You really think you can get away from that?
Well, as long as we can, Sammy. As long as we can.
Well, he kind of paces back around the chair just in front of you. He says, "That's not what I came here to talk about anyway. Look, I just wanted you to know something else is in here with us. Can't see it, but I can feel it lurking around."
Like how?
Hard to explain. It's like a shadow looming over us. Don't like it. I think you should be careful.
Keep that in mind, Sam. Women should have.
Gives you like a non-committal grunt, and like as he fades away, you feel yourself sort of falling back into sleep. You catch just this, you can't tell if it's the start of a dream or the moments before you fall back to sleep. You think you see yourself leaning against the door frame, hands in your pockets, big chest and blood red eyes before you fall back asleep. But the night does pass uneventfully. So I do have this is night, this is day. Sorry about the bunk beds. This was supposed to be for the boarding house, but y'all has a cute little room sink for when you're home. Y'all do all get up the next morning. You know, most of you sleep. Dean's sleeping in a rocking chair. Most of you is probably sleeping on the floor. Johnny got to sleep in his bed, of course. But y'all do rise the next morning, notably dreamless again. That does include you, Dean. You know, you did not dream, on either half of your little nighttime visitor. And the day is y'all's. One thing I forgot, but I should have recapped, is that you did the sheriff did agree to take you to the site of Tanner's murder, first thing in the morning, and he agreed to have the body brought there so that Dean could look at it. He had requested that. But the morning and Baker's Gap is yours. Why are we still playing scary stuff? I'm gonna fix that.
I think Nakama will find the coffee if there's some and drink a cup. Try to get jolted awake. Say,
Dean will also be getting coffee, smoking a cigarette on the porch.
It's almost weird to sleep the night through. It's been so long. A welcome change.
Yeah, I got to admit, Nakamo, I always found myself preferring sleeping under the stars myself.
His bathtub wasn't as great as a hammock, but it'll do in a pinch.
You mean that feeding trough he's got in the back there?
Oh, is that what that is? What it smells like.
Yeah, you guys would come out to some coffee, probably in the small little kitchen area. Nice and strong. Johnny normally wakes up with the sun, so he's just sitting there casually chilling in a chair, sipping on his coffee.
Like we did food earlier. How do all the characters take their coffee?
Is the night.
Say that black as the night. Is that?
Oh yeah.
Nakamo probably takes it black out of just like practicality of not having to carry around sugar and cream. But if seeing the sugar will indulge in the luxury of a single like spoon of it.
Yeah, and in my mind, there's like there's like little serving trays for it. There's like a little boat that has like some sugar cubes, and there's like a nice little, almost porcelain style, long spouted thing that has milk in it or cream. And he'll sort of look at it begrudgingly and say, "You guys want any of the dolling up stuff? It's on the table." It looks very out of place for the rest of his house.
I'm gonna say like, Nakamo not wanting to ask directly. This is a lovely place you have here. Do you live here alone?
Yep, it's all me, right here by myself.
I was gonna follow that up with it. Is this your wife's? But
Living alone must be peaceful.
Yeah, you say that. It's mostly peaceful. I'm glad to not be having them dreams no more, but buddy, you wake up in the middle of the night after one of them, would have been nice to have somebody around to at least ground me some. Made me feel like I was back in the real world a little bit.
after what happened to us yesterday, I'm not so certain I want to be here either. Sorry about that, by the way. I think I may have taken a swing at you. It's a little fuzzy, I'll say to Johnny.
Oh, buddy, it's all good. I understand something weird was happening, and honestly, you wouldn't be the first person I met 2 days ago to take a swing at me either, so no hurt feelings there.
Well, Sheriff, I suppose we have a meeting with your lawman. Is there anything that we should bring before we head off to scene of the crime?
I'm all good to go if you boys are.
Scrubs. Y'all go on a breakfast of only coffee. Sorry, breakfast is important, and I'll die on this hill.
Then why'd you only
Yo.
put coffee in the picture, Devin? It's your fault.
All
Yeah,
right, well,
see?
fair. All
You're a
right, you got
monster.
me. All right, well, got me there. Can't fight that. Y'all head on out to the crime scene. It is, still fairly early in the morning. Maybe if sunrise is depending on time of the year, 7, 6. It's probably 7:30 or 8 as y'all start heading out there. You are met sort of, maybe not right outside Johnny's house, but not far from Johnny's house in a more public area. You find the sheriff waiting on you guys. I like how I moved y'all to that map and not me. And he nods at y'all, and he's finishing a morning cigarette himself. He says, good to see everybody up and early. Come on, follow me. And so he takes you a little ways out of town. I know this map has like the reservoir smack dab up against the town. But I think of it more in my head, a little more like Blue Ridge, where the lake is not like butted up against the town so hard. There's a little bit of walking to sort of get to a place where you are both in between town and in between the reservoir, but not really in any civilized country. That's not the right word. What's it called when they knock a bunch of trees down? Not any developed land. There's you're in sort of patch of undeveloped land between the town and the reservoir. As the sheriff leads Yins on up, we're gonna pause this. I said pause, mother trucker. To the site of the murder. And y'all are welcome to look around, but you come to, in this undeveloped area, a sort of small, I don't even really want to call it a glade. It is not quite that big. It is a big enough space, it seems, for a tussle to have happened, but still rather tightly packed with trees around it, and you can see blood on the ground. You can see, most of you can see big gouge marks in various places, and of course the body itself in a body bag sort of set off to the side of the clearing. It seems like Deputy Mutter had brought the bag just a few moments ago and is setting it down. And you guys, as you guys approach with the sheriff, he kind of nods at all of you, and after setting the bag down, and kind of waves for a second. And he says, "If I could talk to y'all for a second, hang on for a second. Sorry, my hand." He pops a cigarette in his mouth and lights a cigarette. He says, now I've been thinking about that. Sheriff's talking about y'all having a problem with that TMC man. I had thought there, y'all might could go talk to the judge. He could give you a restraining order, or grant Ingrid restraining order. Might be worth doing. Best I can tell, as long as they've been in town, they've been doing everything by the book. If that's important to them, then that paperwork might slow them down some.
Certainly worth considering.
And if it's a thorn in their side, that'd be worth the red tape for me.
And
I am
Wagon's
training
there.
a lot.
Y'all could I've tried to start with Boomhauer, now he's suddenly Cajun, so we'll just land wherever we land. While y'all there, y'all could ask the sheriff about some tags. I could use a hand tonight. And yeah, I mentioned when y'all first met him, he looked kind of tired and kind of haggard, and y'all noticed that he looks fairly exhausted. Says, I've been leading townsfolk out tonight. Judge is offering $3 a wolf pelt, or any wolf pelt brought back to him with a tag on it, trying to cut down on this wolf problem. Could use a little bit of help. Got a good tip about maybe we'll find some.
Would you have? Has there been any reports of you guys finding any of the wolves responsible?
It's hard to say. They cleaned themselves off and such the best they can. We ain't find no bones or nothing like that. But I think they got 2, maybe 3 since we started hunting. And so you gather over the last 2 or 3 nights since they started. After the first attack, it was like, okay, let's get a group together, let's go wolf hunting. And as they've continued, and they've killed 2 or 3 wolves. But hard to say, hard to tell whether or not they's the ones that killed somebody or not.
I think Nakamo wants to look at the gouges and the scratch marks and get an idea of display. Like, how big of a creature are we talking? And does it seem more humanoid than canine, or?
If you turn to the crime scene, Deputy Mutter will kind of tip his hat, seeing that y'all are getting ready to get to work. Say, I hope to see y'all tonight. Maybe good money in for y'all. And he's gonna hoof it. He seems like he's on his own stuff, doing his own thing. But Nakamo, make there's a hunting check. What's it called? This is gonna be intelligence.
I have identifying plants and animals, wilderness navigation, foraging, hunting, and safe places.
There we go. Foraging and hunting would qualify, so it will be eased.
So I'm trained in it, and I upped my edge in intelligence. So now if I dip in it, I only have to take off 1 point from the pool to do that, right? Okay, then I'm gonna.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna edge. Is that what it's called? Please tell me that's not what it's called.
Oh, are you applying effort too?
applying
So
effort.
you're gonna remove a point to apply effort, so that eases it again.
And then did it roll? No.
Well, yeah, roll it. Oh, sorry. Actually, you eased it by 2 and reduced it to 0 for this particular check. Therefore, I don't even care if you roll.
Oh, but
For
I
your
rolled
hunt-
well. Can you pretend that's why I have?
For your hunting check, yeah, whatever helps you knock them out. For your hunting check, they are most certainly wolf claws. You know, they have the correct number of digits. The shape of the prints are the same. I would say the only thing that sticks out to you is that's a big fucking wolf. There is something sort of unnatural about them that you're having a hard time placing.
Do I get an idea from depth of like weight? Like,
That's a good question. Is that part of hunting?
is it 4 Romans or
Hmm.
5 or?
You know what? For this, I will say it looks heavy. So I would say like, how should I put this? I guess for Nakamo, having traveled the wilderness, the paw print is twice as wide and twice as deep as you were accustomed to seeing in the wild.
Nakamo will point that out. Say, big wolves, unnaturally so. Have all the attacks been near the reservoir?
Y'all have been told at some point, maybe. Sheriff said no. 2 of them was out in the gap itself. This is the reason. That's why we called Sheriff here. We got worried when one got so far, and to give y'all a little, y'all saw the map, like where the reservoir was. Like, there's not. It's almost like they would have had to cross through town, or at least around town, to get. You know, you're behind the town, for lack of a better term. So they said we got nervous when we saw one in between town and the reservoir. You know, generally we don't have red wolves in these little spots between the reservoir. And like y'all mentioned, like y'all said, this doesn't fit with the rest of them. So we called in some help.
The ones that did fit the MO that were, was so eloquently put as pieces of shit. Did they leave behind widows?
Yeah.
They. Have you spoken with them?
I offered my condolences. One of them's still here in town, being kept up by the ladies' auxiliary. I think he told you guys, or well, some of you knew. You were informed last session. That's like a church group, a women's church group that helps the poor and things like that. And then a couple others out in the other one, I guess technically, went out to the clutch. Tana didn't have a wife.
Nakamo makes a note to follow up with that when they get back to the pledge.
Not to put you on the spot here, Sheriff, but how long ago was the last attack before this one? Is the body still?
We're going on before this one. That's probably getting ripe. It's been 4 days, maybe a little more.
You said that one took place in town?
Yeah, they would have had to the coroner.
Alright. I'll just look at Dean and say, no, I don't know, I guess Nakamo did kind of convey this. Say, I don't know how much we're gonna get out of it, but it might be a good idea to go check out one of the other sites at least, see if any tracks or viscera or claw marks or anything like that match. Just want to look a little bit different.
Isn't a bad idea. See if they can find any consistent clues. More interestingly, any different.
I'm wondering if there's a reason that he might have been in this area. Just seems odd.
I would
Is this
like to say that there is one more. I don't know if this helps this doesn't help y'all's train of thought at the moment. There is one more check y'all could make that we use in D&D
We haven't
all the
looked
time.
at the bottom.
Anytime we want to search an area.
Oh, perception.
Investigation?
I would accept either one of those.
Are they?
Well,
Are they
I was gonna.
actual
That's
skills?
what I was gonna do.
Perception
look
is
around for
perception is a skill. And really, it doesn't matter which one you call it because it's going to be intelligence either way. But if anyone is trained in perception, obviously that's eased.
Pretty.
Say it again, Ben.
Pretty sure I am. Let me pull it up.
Oh, I forgot. Here, let me look at.
I don't have all my skills on my sheet.
Oh, I see.
I rolled pretty
How
good.
you know what your
16.
skills is? 16. Let me pop this out so I can keep it, so I don't lose it.
It's on my sheet for losing.
All right.
Oh, yeah, no.
I see. Fair enough. Nakamo, thankfully you did difficulty. So while y'all are hashing this out, as you're kind of turning, it looks like I think I should have. Here we go. A close up of y'all's glorious little claw marks here.
Glorious.
So I've already mentioned that they're much deeper and much wider than, you would expect from a red wolf. But with that extra perception check, you notice as you look up from the track, you see another kind of blood mark. There's several marks and blood spots around the area, but you notice one that catches your eye, and you find it doesn't look quite right. It looks dusty almost. And you find sort of uncharacteristic to the area a bunch of flower petals around this base of the tree, around this claw mark, and a very, very thin trace of sawdust.
Sawdust. Grab a couple of the petals. Can I identify these? Easy, rose, daisy, anything in particular that stands out?
Are you trained in that? Regardless, I'll need another intellect roll because that's sort of how this works.
Identifying plants and animals, I am.
For sure. You just need to beat a 6 with your trained there, with your ease.
Boy, I've had 3 good rolls. My combat is gonna suck ass. I just know it.
Would you roll? I wasn't looking. I'm assuming it's more than a 6.
15?
15. This is I'm gonna Google the name to make sure I say it right. Pardon.
Daisy.
Wow, can't find it now. This is a black cohosh. Cohosh? The petals of a black cohosh. It is something native to Tennessee. Don't know that. I guess you might have heard that. You know that it is. You know that it is fairly common to be used in like medicinal practices, like it wouldn't be called Chinese medicine, natural medicine. That's what they call it. It is prone to be used in natural medicine, and you, being a sage, might know that it also is occasionally used in more mystical uses. It's sort of like finding aloe. It's kind of widely used. It could be used for several things, and you might know that it grows locally in the Gap and could be found at various places.
What was it? Black, not Kopesh. Black.
Cohosh. You might know it as black snake root. Sorry, there's lots of names. Black bugbane. Fairy candle. Sorry, I'm having a good time.
Interesting. Bugbane.
Also
He'll pick up the flower and smell it. He goes, good mosquito repellent. Take a look at that, the sawdust. That's interesting. That seems arcane. This feels like components. I'll usher the rest of the party and see if make anything of this?
I was thinking the same thing, but Jeb don't know nothing about none of that green stuff.
I was about to say, Johnny would look down and see the flowers and the sawdust and be like, think somebody's out here doing construction? I don't know what the sawdust is for.
I look up in the tree just to make sure there's not like a tree house or something that we're like looking right over.
Could maybe do something to identify this a little further. But I'm not. It's gonna go along with some other things that I don't really want to do in front of the other two.
In
front of
who
what?
now?
I was gonna try to summon some spirits, see if they can give me some insight.
But you didn't want to do that in front of who?
Sure. Hi.
There.
I don't want to give away
I mean,
my secret.
He knows why I hired you.
y'all could potentially ask him to leave if y'all wanted to. You know, if you wanted to ask the sheriff to step out for a minute or something like that.
I get the feeling that he might get a little weird about speaking to the dead and all.
He might. But he did call you because he does not want to deal with any of that fake crap. That stuff doesn't exist, don't you know? He says, sweating. If and you
Well,
ask the sheriff to step
200-pound wolves.
If and you ask the sheriff to step out, you know, not exactly rude, but maybe in a little bit of a pointed fashion, he gets the message pretty quick. He says, I can give y'all 20 minutes. I didn't have my coffee. I'll be back. He wanders back to town to get a cup of coffee.
Right. Now that Sheriff Pod just stepped away, Dean will make his way over to the body in the body bag and kneel next to it. He'll kind of hang his head, his hand on the spirit's chest, and he will I'll use my tier 1 ability. Which one was it? I don't have it pulled up, but it's essentially speak with dead. Since I'm with the deceased remains, I can summon him as a spirit to ask questions.
Indeed. Let me find your
Which is just 2
character
intellect.
sheet. All right, spend 2 intellect points to question the spirits. Usually no more than 3 questions before it fades. And you are next to the remains. All right. Okay. So you guys watch as Dean crouches down, and I like to think, you know, he has a lantern that he carries on his hip. Y'all watch him reach into the lantern and pull this little bit of fire out, except it's blue instead of red. And he reaches down and puts his hand on the chest of the body. Y'all watch the fire as if catching a light the body, and these blue, its eyes open blue, this blue glow come out of its mouth and its ears, and it turns and looks right at you, Dean. You have 3 questions to ask the spirit of Tanner Finch.
I'll say, Mr. Tanner, I am Sheriff Dean Sampson. I hate to be the one to tell you, but it seems you have been murdered. And I'm here to find out why. So if you would mind kindly tell me the last thing you remember. Or what is the last thing you remember?
Teeth. Emblem and darkness and the most malevolent I've ever felt.
You know, kind of think back to what Sammy said the night before. Say, is there anyone that could have done this to you? Do you have any enemies?
At the company.
Devin, I'm so sorry. You're cutting out pretty bad, buddy.
Oh no!
I know this is very important,
well.
so I hate to interrupt, but I don't want to lose it.
Nice.
Yeah, I got the company.
I'm not popular at the company. No known enemies. This felt like an animal. One more question, make it count, my friend.
Anybody got any suggestions?
Oh, that counts. Damn it.
No.
um, um,
I'm hiding
Hmm.
behind a tree. Johnny doesn't like this.
ask. Well, part of me wants to ask him about the wolf, and I don't know if he'll be able to give us anything that's actually meaningful other than big wolf.
Yeah, it seems he already knows that.
You could always ask him what he was doing headed towards the quarry at such an hour.
Yeah, why was he out here?
Good point.
Well, if that's the case, Mr. Tanner, why were you out here when you died?
Visited Riley. Brought medicine. Was returning home.
From delivering medicine.
Locals,
that's
I know there's. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, looks like that's number 3. I commend you to the
And
lab, Mr. Tanner.
y'all watch the like Avatar style, this blue flash as the light leaves the body and it kind of flops back down into the body bag again. Gross, yeah, but it's stiff, so it's a stiff flop because rigor mortis, but locals, I know there's only one of you here in IRL. Y'all know that like there is a very few families that live out pretty much on the reservoir away from town. So it's not unfeasible that he was going to visit someone that lived on the reservoir.
Seems like we need to
Must
get in
not
touch
have a
with this
name.
Riley.
We're gonna go back to this sound, I guess, because we're still here.
Does it look like the body gave up uh, a fight, or if they were ambushed?
So if you guys give the body a once over, firstly, the wounds are consistent with evisceration. It looks like he was torn apart. Since y'all have all made all your rolls at this point, the tears are much longer than you would expect a wolf's paw to be able to do. Like it looks like someone might have taken a dagger and just, pulled down his side. You wouldn't expect just the average wolf to be making rakes this long. I would say that he does have some bruises, especially Dean being a cop could understand that he's got bruises that are indicative of him fighting back, maybe on his knuckles or the bottoms of his hands where he was throwing fist or hammer fist. You can see like probably maybe not quite blood under his fingernails at this point. It's been so long, but his fingernails are kind of caked where like he was obviously digging into someone or something. I don't think anything else might help.
Okay.
Any enemies? He wasn't popular at the company. This felt more animal. Last thing you saw, teeth, malevolence. Was out here visiting Riley to bring them medicine.
I don't want to jump to conclusions too early, but we did find traces of sawdust.
Oh,
The company was seen buying pallets of lumber when we were at the hardware store.
Not a bad point.
I would, on that note, though, I'd look over at Nakamo and say, well, I don't know much about this kind of stuff, but he did mention he was delivering medicine. You know of any medicines or anything that use components of sawdust and whatever that flower was?
No, sawdust and the flower itself, I'm sure, has medicinal use. Unless maybe the sawdust was the packaging, like it was in a bag of sawdust and flowers to preserve it or keep it dry or something. Would I know anything about if this is a common way of storing medicine or?
You would know that medicine is usually dried. Like after it's been dried, it's usually powdered if it's going to be used in medicine. The final form wouldn't need to be kept dry. It would be a vial or a paste or, maybe I should say a tincture or a paste.
I think he said he got there, dropped the medicine off, and was heading back. Yeah.
Yes, that was the implication.
The note about the company men, not a bad idea. I wonder if they were marking the spot for him to come, or for the wolves to attack. This is Joey just, I don't know, trying to metagame, I guess, but
It's not metagaming to discuss y'all's thoughts out of character. It's hard to enunciate all your thoughts in character.
but Joey's convinced this is capitalism. The company's behind it, but Nakamoto doesn't have a whole hell of a lot of reason to be so suspicious.
Yeah, I need evidence.
I do think, though, it might make sense to take a
Due
sample of
process,
some of
no?
this stuff and then maybe go visit Riley and just see if he, she, they, whoever they are, might know some more specifically if he's talked about, specific people disliking him or having uneasy feelings at work and who might have not liked him specifically, things like that.
May even be someone wanting to hurt Riley instead. He may not have been the target of the attack, just the instrument of causing torment.
During the course of y'all talking, the sheriff does return. Does not approach you guys. Just kind of leans against a tree, sips his cup of coffee he's brought back with him. He's seemingly noticing you guys are, something has developed. You guys are in the middle of conversing heavily. He kind of keeps his distance and might go zip up the body bag or something, prepare it to be brought back to the morgue. Y'all can continue.
I don't really have much else I think I want to dig into that I could think of right here.
Yeah, same. So Johnny, you're a local. You said you didn't know Riley. I think. Oh, that would be weird to ask the sheriff. Hey, who's Riley? Like, why are you asking about her? Like,
That's what I was about to do.
I don't know if it would raise any red flags or not. Probably not, but
I mean, we're here doing a job. Who cares? It's none of his business how we know this.
that's a good point.
At least that's how my character would approach it. I mean, screw it, I'll ask. Turn around. Hey, I don't venture out too often, but you know O'Reilly that lives out maybe by the quarry?
Kind of frowns for a second. And it's one of those frowns like he's definitely wondering how you even knew to ask that, but you can at this point it's pretty clear, like you see him like very purposely glaze over this discomfort of like they shouldn't know that. He says, yeah, the Rileys live out on the quarry. Iris and her father. Her father's been sick for some time. Tana been bringing her medicine for a couple weeks.
Only a couple of weeks.
You wouldn't mind. I mean, I don't know for sure how many houses are out there, but I think it'd be easy to find them. Would you mind taking us?
We could go pay and visit if you wanted to. They not far from the reservoir. And mostly families that live out on the reservoir mostly keep to themselves. So you could if and you wanted to.
I'll just sort of survey the group, look for a consensus thought.
Above if you do give a look over, Nakamo will kind of try to get out of the sheriff's eye line and give a nah. Mostly not with him is what I'm trying to say. But ditch the fuzz, man.
We can always revisit this later. It's not a big deal. Hey, Nakamo, you wanna grab some of that stuff? I think we have an acquaintance that lives in a big white house might know what some of these things are used for.
I've got a handful here. You should be able to identify it, and if it's green-based, I imagine she might be able to give some help knowing what the purpose was.
Ooh, I want to do this just for flavor, but I want to kind of identify it with a blader.
Say that again.
It's mostly just for flavor, but I kind of want to use a blader intrusion to
Identify
Oh, an
what?
intrusion to identify it.
Yeah, the medicine.
Well,
or
you don't
whatever.
have any medicine. You have some flower petals and some area that, and Nakamo has identified like the type of flower. You don't necessarily have like bona fide medicine or a bona fide item.
Oh no, yeah, that's what I meant. I'm talking. I think we could have been.
Cutting in and out, my dude.
Yeah, it's a little garbled.
Oh no, I was talking
think-
about the flower. That's what I was talking.
Yeah, Nakamo identified it as black cohosh, and he knows that it's got a wide variety of uses. There he goes.
Go check out the Riley.
I was about to say the sheriff will. If y'all got everything you need, I need to get this back to the coroner, and he'll grab the body bag and start schlepping the corpse back to the coroner.
I love when you say
Very
it
good
like
time, Jared.
schlep is such a Jewish word, and it's so weird to hear you say it in like a southern accent. It's just like I don't know. It's
Cool.
like Devin's over here like
Trauma, man.
I got some goddamn Surus today. Like it's just I don't know. It's an like oxymoronic, I guess.
They were making fun of me at jiu-jitsu the other day because we were talking about judo throws. They were making fun of me and my professor saying the names of judo throws in our southern accent. So that tracks.
Tichidori. Like,
It's a
Yeah.
dojang.
Osotogari. Yeah, Osotogari. Kouchigari. Dojang is Korean.
Yeah, and it's the first thing I could think of that was martial arts based. That would sound funny southern.
I was trying to teach them the finer points of Kouchigari, and they couldn't respect the way I say Kouchigari because it don't sound nothing right like it's right. I'll spell it, and y'all will be like, "That's how it's spelled." Anyway, I think we may.
I need you to do an audiobook of like a manga and just like reading the names.
Whoops, said that to the wrong person. No, let's not do that. I want to take a break, or do y'all want a few minutes to settle out and figure out what you're going to do next?
We should probably
We can
at
take
least
another
discuss
10 or 15.
what we want to do. It's up to you, man. I would like to know where we're
about
going
so we
next,
can-
at least to mentally prep for that. Like if we're going to head out to the quarry or if we're going to go back into town and try to chase down some more leads that way.
I say we try to, or my vote anyway, is to try to go to Riley. If that's where the last place he was, and if the fact that he's been bringing a medicine for just a couple of weeks, that feels too timely. I feel like he may not have been
And
the
the-
target, but like if he's helping keep them
Yeah.
healthy and alive, or if the medicine is helping suppress something that might be violent, I don't know. Just supernatural guesses.
Besides, they are the last people to see him alive, and that's kind of prudent.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
the play.
For sure. That's my vote. Visit the Rileys ASAP.
Okay. I'm going to take a break now if you want. If you want to take a quick one, but I wanted to know where we were going next.
Yeah, turn us on our break screen. We can do that.